Welcome back once again. Raam Anand here, Chief Editor and Publishing Director to hundreds and even thousands of best-selling authors all over the world. And today, in this video, I want to teach you about or tell you about the 5 big mistakes that first-time authors do. And sometimes it happens like this. People put their effort, time, investment, a lot of things goes into creating a very good book, and when the book is released it doesn't perform, or it doesn't sell, or it doesn't get the kind of reaction that the author initially wanted from the people. The reasons could be one of these. So let's explore what are these 5 big mistakes that could cause trouble, and how to avoid these mistakes in the first place. All right, so first let's start with the big one, which I call as overthinking. Overthinking, normally first time authors try to think about their book. They want their book to be the best book, right? You want your book to be the best book that you want to create, especially if you're doing it for the first time. So what goes into this is you start thinking and then overthinking on that, thinking upon thinking. So it so happens that most times it gets very big, it gets messy, and then it becomes a big hot soup that is not fun like anymore. And this is the reason why so many people actually quit writing their book. They have tried, they have started to think about it, and then the overthinking kicked in, over information kicked in. They get into finding all there is to find about writing a book, how to do this, how to do that, how to sell it, how to edit it, how to proofread, they start thinking about the cover, and then they start feeling overwhelmed, and then it leads to either procrastination or entirely dropping the project, thinking they are not cut for this. And many people think that no, I am not cut for becoming an author, and they give up on their dreams, which is very unfortunate. By the way, it need not be like that. That's the reason why at Stardom Publishing we start with blocking this by going one step at a time. We handhold our authors, like we help them think about the first step. See, how do you take your journey, how do you start your journey of 200 miles? I mean, you don't jump 200 miles right off the bat, do you? You first start with your first step, and then another step on that. So that way you can, step by step, you will reach your destination. And the thing is, there are some ideas, some strategies, some techniques that can make this journey faster. Like for example, having a plan. You will know exactly where you're going to stop on the way, where are you going to have your refills, where are you going to eat if you need to eat on the way. So like that, the entire project of writing a book can be broken down into manageable chunks, so that you can take this one step at a time and then still be able to complete the task without feeling overwhelmed. Number 2, second one, starting with, or we can say starting only with personal stories. This is another big mistake people sometimes do. When they think about writing a book, they think about their personal journey, they think about their biography, they think about their own challenges and obstacles and how they overcame them. They want to write about all these things. It's good, okay, fine. If you want to express your journey, you want to share about your journey, that's fine. But if you try to fill that up or fill your book entirely with your journey, that's not a good way to write a book, especially if you are going to write your first book, unless you already have a big fan following. Maybe You are a celebrity, maybe you are an actor, maybe you are a musician, maybe you are someone who has got a million followers on your social media handles. Then definitely yes, because they all, your fans and followers, they all want to know what's going on in your personal life. They're curious, and you can satisfy their curiosity by writing about your personal stories. Otherwise, in the non-fiction category, which we are dealing with, the leadership books, non-fiction books, how-to books, business books, your professional books, these books shouldn't be only about you or your journey. Instead, it should also be about your customer's journey or the reader's journey and their problems and their issues and their challenges, so that they can resonate better with and connect with the content inside your book, and thereby connecting with the author as well. So sharing your stories is good, it's fine, as long as that's not the only thing you're planning to write in your book. Number 3. Oh, this is a big one. No author goals. All right. See, many people want to write books, and they do write books, even though the number of people who write books are like really small. But out of all these books, let's say 100 books written by first time authors, 95 of them are written without goals. Startling, isn't it? That is the reason why 95 of them fail in the marketplace. The number one reason is they have not set the goal for the author. And what do I mean by that? Every book should start with a goal for the author, and that's what we teach at Stardom Publishing. You know, when people think about writing a book, the first thing that pops into their mind is, what is going to be the topic of my book? That's all right. But before that, we need to also figure out 2 other steps. Step 1 being the author goals. So what is the goal for this book? Why am I writing this book? And what is the reason behind writing this book, and what I want the book to do for me or my professional life or personal life. That is the number one thing you should know. Valid goals includes, of course, selling a large number of copies is a very valid goal. Along with that, we also need to understand reasons like, or the goals like if you want to get into the media, for example, that's a valid goal. Or if you want to establish your credibility in a certain marketplace, that's a valid goal. If you want to leave a legacy behind, that's a valid goal too. Lead generation, valid goal. So like that, there are a number of goals you can attach your book to, so that your book becomes purposefully written, and that's what resonates with people, and that's what gives it the direction. It's not just like, throwing your net randomly and expecting to catch a large school of fish. So that's what happens. Not having a goal is a big impediment. If you want to browse the different kinds of goals and choose one of those goals which could be valid for your next book, go to stardompublishing.com, scroll down, and you'll see a number of goals there. And what you can do with each one of these goals, if you choose one of these goals, here's the kind of a ready reckoner. You can find the ready reckoner at stardompublishing.com. If your goal is to generate leads, and this is the kind of book that you have to create. And that's what happens. Along with goals, there is also something called as an aspirational level. You just don't want to write a book to fulfill a goal. You also want to reach a higher level of aspiration for yourself, don't you? So we can combine these 2 things. Combine the goal, add that aspirational value to it, and then think about what are the topics that can help you resonate with the audience with those topics, as well as these aspirational values and your goals. Next one. No takeaways. No takeaways. That's for the readers I'm talking about. Every book should have some takeaways, especially when we are talking about non-fiction category here. Every chapter should have a takeaway. I mean, even though it is very obvious and evident, people still want you to provide, as an author, you to provide what are the 2, 3, 4, 5 big takeaways at the end of every chapter. In fact, I recommend you provide a bullet list of takeaways at the end of the chapter, because there are several reasons. One is it will help you, summarize the entire chapter for people who are, fast readers. I mean, you can just summarize the entire chapter in 4 or 5 points. Second thing is, it looks good. When people read this in the form of a book, it looks good. Number 3, the most important part, it will help you on marketing and selling more books. How? Because people, when they read your books, they want to talk about it. And if you give them the takeaways for each and every chapter, those are the talking points. I mean, they can easily take those talking points. Maybe they can quote you and your book when they they talk about your book or what they are doing when when they are on social media networks, and that's what the word of mouth referral, that's a wonderful, that's one of the best ways for marketing books. So that's the reason why I recommend takeaways. You decide what are the takeaways and provide them in the form of a bullet list at the end of not just the book, at the end of every chapter. If you can do that, that will be really wonderful. And if not, then the readers are left midway. Like when you finish your chapter 1, let's say, when somebody reads your book, they read through chapter 1, and now you can give them the bullet points, and then that will automatically segue into the next chapter. You can the last point could be in the next chapter, we're going to learn about A, B and C. That way you are bringing them back into your book. You're not letting your readers close the book and put it back on the shelf and perhaps never come back to it again. You are giving them a reason to segue into the next chapter. That's how you design books. Number 5, the 5th one. This is really, really killer, and no CTA. What do you mean by that? No CTA. CTA is short for call to action. What is a call to action? What do you want your reader to do after they read your book? Do you want them to come to your website? Do you want them to give you their name and email address and phone number? Do you want them to come and visit you? Do you want them to come to opt in to buy your stuff? You want them to come and watch your videos? You must be having something extra, something more to give to your readers, don't you? And this CTA, most authors miss this, especially in the non-fiction category. I highly, highly recommend mark this with a star. Mark this with a star, underline this, write it down, put a highlighter on this, do whatever you want. Make sure there is always a call to action, not just at the end of the book. Give a call to action at the end of every chapter, just like the previous step. Takeaways, call to action. What if your book contains 10 chapters? At the end of every chapter, you have a call to action. Maybe at the end of first chapter, you give a call to action to go to your website. At the end of the second chapter, you give a call to action to download a PDF. At the end of chapter 3, maybe you give them a chart or an image or an assessment that they can come and access somewhere on your website. Or maybe chapter 4, CTA could be go and sign up for you, or subscribe to your YouTube channel, or join your newsletter on LinkedIn, or join your group on Facebook. See, the important idea here, the takeaway for you here is we have to try and integrate people from consuming. People are consuming your information in different ways, right? Books are one way they are consuming information, but you are also available to share your information on other platforms where you can also interact with your readers. So, and you also want to build your fan following, you want to build your tribe and your network. So giving a call to action inside each and every chapter will help you do that as well. And hope this was useful for you. And if you need more information or more such strategies, more such tactics, and in fact if you want to access my brand new course that will help you create your best-selling book manuscript, in the right way, in the correct way, using all these strategies and more. It's available at stardompublishing.com, and go there, get all the resources. There are some free resources available there as well. Check out the course, and if you think it is good for you, go and subscribe to the course as well. Let's see each other in another video. Until then, keep smiling, believe in yourself, and get all the best things in life.